happy to be here.
Well, good afternoon. We are here to announce, obviously, we just took a vote on a special appropriation to launch in the summer of 2016. A very exciting program, a cutting-edge, innovative approach for a component that has a lot of significance in terms of eliminating the achievement gap here in Montgomery County. And I can honestly say that when people criticize government, they say that it's not nimble and it's not flexible. Well, here we are today as an example of how nimble and flexible it can actually be. This is a program that has been obviously vetted and of great interest to the school system, and really an opportunity that we didn't want to pass. You know, how many times did you get a local philanthropist come over and say, hey, here's this particular program that is top-notch quality, that fits all the criteria that the county council has been in discussion time and time again in all our committees. It includes a very high quality component, a strong evaluation component. It serves the neediest. It makes sure that it hires MCPS teachers, and it's a public-private partnership that we can finally look at and scale if that is what we desire to do. So it really, in my opinion, meets all of that criteria. I feel like this is a culture change for us in Montgomery County going forward. I think all of my colleagues, the minute that I approached each and every one of them and explained what exactly it entailed and the time crunch, everybody signed on because it does, in everybody's mind, really fit and checks all the boxes in terms of what we're trying to do. The most exciting part of this, of course, is that it's to address the summer slide. Very, very critical issue for us here in the county as we've seen our population, our neediest students grow in MCPS. We know that more than half of the achievement gap between lower and higher income youth can be explained by unequal access to summer learning opportunities. As a result, low-income youth are less likely to graduate from high school or enter college. We understand very clearly that 1 in 6 children who are not reading proficiently in 3rd grade do not graduate from high school on time, a rate 4 times greater than that for proficient readers. And so there are just so many different indicators out there and so much research that has pointed to this particular issue. And so I am thrilled that at least 1,050 students will have an opportunity to participate in this very high quality program, that we can evaluate it, and it is my hope that we will be able to scale it up. And how can we scale it up? We will continue to pursue this type of public-private partnerships, but it is my hope that we can repurpose some of the existing funding that we have in place right now in many programs throughout our county to make sure that we commit to these types of models that have been proven. So with that, I'm just really humbled to have just, been an instrument to get this going. Obviously, I feel like it fits very well many of my hats, not only as a former member of the Board of Education, member of the Education Committee, but also in terms of the government operations and fiscal policy, because it really does touch upon all of those areas. And next, we'd like to bring up the President and Trustee of the Norman R. and Ruth Rales Foundation, Mr. Joshua Rales. The way he describes the issue of the achievement gap is so much aligned with what we've all been discussing, that this is about economic imperative here in our county and across the nation, and therefore we need to invest. So Josh Rales, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention and for committing to Montgomery County to your...
You're very welcome. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for your leadership. Thanks to everybody on the council for moving so expeditiously on this. Together, we're going to drive a stake through the heart of the achievement gap. We need to do something. We need to be innovative. We need to bring private money to the table, which we've done. We need to cooperate. And I can tell you that my experience with this council has been nothing less than stellar. We appreciate your openness, your transparency, your willingness to consider new ideas. And the Rales Foundation hopes that this will be another of a continuation of many wonderful programs we can do together to help this community. We grew up here, my brothers and I. My parents, Norman and Ruth, after whom our foundation is named, love children. They would be thrilled if they were here to see what is happening. And so we look forward to a great relationship. You have an incredible organization with Bell that I think you're going to be delighted to work with. There's never a no when it comes to trying to get the job done. So thank you all very, very much for your support, and we look forward to a great partnership.
Thank you so much. Thank you. For too long, we have talked about how Montgomery County is resource rich. but for some reason we don't seem to be moving the needle on so many of these chronic issues. And so I'm a big believer that we have to invest in high quality, and not just that, but that we have to scale. But we know that we have challenges with our fiscal situation, and so it is my opinion that we have got to get into a culture shift here where we pursue private-public partnerships, where we target our programs, where we evaluate the programs, and if indeed is giving us the results that we need in those most chronic issues, that we should scale them. And so the creation of the Children Opportunity Fund is an opportunity right there to innovate and to really launch these types of programs. This is the first one. It's a big one. It will serve about 1,050 students, the most vulnerable, to make sure that during the summer they don't lose much of the learning that they had in the previous year, high quality, because it's MCPS teachers. It has all those components. And so I'm really excited that we were able to vote and adopt this appropriation so we can be ready for the summer of 2016. It'll be a 4-year program. And again, this is just the beginning, in my opinion, of us really truly being innovative and taking advantage in many ways of all those philanthropists that exist in our county who understand that we have concerns and we have challenges, and that this is not a Montgomery County that can do everything by itself. It is my hope that this is just the beginning of that, and perhaps we can repurpose money from other programs, all the plethora of programs that we have out there, repurpose them to invest in these types of prototypes that we know will yield the right type of outcomes for us.
How did this relationship come about between the Rails Foundation and the county? Did you approach him? Did you see what he was doing in Baltimore, or do we not need to know that?
Well, you know, the Rails Foundation has had a long history here in Montgomery County. I mean, I remember when my children were at Rock Creek Forest, they were, funding this extraordinary program, the Reading Rails program, where they would provide, computer classes for the parents and English as second language classes for the parents and homework help for the students. I mean, they've got, and we're talking about, over 10 years ago. I mean, there's a long history here. And they had approached the school system about this. The school system was really excited about it. We're concerned about our savings plan, and that's why it stalled a little bit. And so I decided to just take the lead and make it all come together, because everybody agreed that this was the best kind of model moving forward, and that we would save money in the long run, right? So that's the important piece of all of this. And I can, I have to, thank my colleagues, because everybody was on board immediately and recognized that this was an opportunity we couldn't pass.